Hello, dear listeners, and thank you so much for listening to Master English with Tim this week, the podcast where Tim helps you to master English step by step without hurrying, in depth and detail. I'm Tim, native English speaker, polyglot, world traveler, writer, and English teacher since 2005. In this week's episode, I'm going to show you how to solve a pronunciation problem that a lot of people have, especially people whose first language is German, Spanish, or a Slavic language like Polish or Russian. For many speakers of these languages, it's difficult to pronounce the following 6 sounds at the end of words: b, d, v, g, z, and j. In fact, I'd like to point out that a lot of speakers of these languages have this problem without knowing that they have it. So, all 6 of the sounds b, d, v, g, z, and j share 2 features. The first feature is that when you make any of these sounds, you must make this sound inside your throat. If you made that sound yourself, you could feel vibrations in your throat. The fact that you feel vibrations in your throat when you make the sounds b, d, v, g, z, and j is why we call these sounds voiced sounds. The second feature that all of these sounds share is that all of them also have an unvoiced equivalent, a sound which is exactly the same but does not use your vocal cords. And that is the mistake a lot of people make. Instead of saying b, they throw out the vibrations and say p. They reduce d to t. They replace v with f. They don't say g, they say k. They don't say z, instead they say s. And instead of saying v, they say th. Instead of saying j, they say ch. And just as a side note, if you want to take a deeper look at voiced sounds, then listen to episode 64 from last week. So is this a huge problem? Well, it's true that a lot of, or maybe even most of the time, people will understand what you want to say from context if you say the wrong sound from the pair. For example, if you need to say v at the end of the word and you say f instead, people will probably still understand you. But making this mistake does mean that people have to work harder to understand you. So reducing or solving this problem will make you more easily understandable. Also, when people have this problem, they tend to have other pronunciation problems too, and working on this problem will give you some tools that will be useful if you decide to work more generally on your pronunciation. Also, being able to pronounce b, d, v, g, z, and j at the ends of words makes you sound a bit more native, which some people want to do. This is a pretty long episode that we have ahead of us, and it will include a lot of detailed work on how to pronounce these key sounds at the ends of words. But if you want, you can just start working directly on a lot of target words and example sentences using the link to the audio file that I've included in the description of this episode. Working in more detail on a small number of words is important too, though. The first thing that you need to do if you want to successfully pronounce b, d, v, g, z, and j at the ends of words is see if you can easily hear the difference between these sounds. Between b and p, and d and t, for example, between the voiced version of the sound and the unvoiced version of the sound. If you can easily hear these differences, then you will have a greater chance of being able to pronounce these sounds in final position yourself. Usually what happens is that listening ability, the ability to hear the difference between two similar sounds, comes before the ability to speak those sounds correctly yourself. Not always, but most often. So, let's test your ability to tell the difference between voiced consonants and their unvoiced equivalents at the ends of words. I have 6 pairs of words to practice with. In each pair of words, the 2 words are the same, except that one of them has a voiced sound at the end and the other has an unvoiced sound. For example, feed and feet. I will read the pair of words, and then after that, I will read 4 words. 3 of these words will be unvoiced, and just one of them will be voiced. For example, I will say feet, feet, feed, feet, feet. So your job is to say which of these 4 words ended in a voiced consonant. In the example I just gave, it was the second word which ended in a voiced consonant. Okay, let's start. Number 1, cap or cab? So, cap, cap, cab, cap. So it was the third one. Number 2, bat or bad? Bat, bad, bat, bat. So it was the second one. 3, leaf or leave? Leave, leaf, leaf, leaf. Was, of course, the first one. 4, back or bag? Back, back, bag, back. So it was the third one again. Number 5, peace, like the opposite of war or conflict, or peas. So peas are like those little vegetables that a lot of children hate to eat. Little spherical, round vegetables. So peace or peas? Peace, 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 peas. What was the last one, the fourth one? 6th and last, Mitch or Midge? So Mitch is the short form of the not too common name Mitchell, and Midge is like a very small flying insect that you can sometimes see in the sunlight. If you look up at the sun, you can often see little tiny midges flying in the sunlight. So, 4 words. Mitch, Midge, Mitch, Mitch. So it was the third one. Now, if you were able to easily choose the words ending in voiced consonants, that's really amazing, and that ability will definitely help you in the next exercise that we will do. So let's get to that next exercise. So your ability to hear the differences between, for example, ch and j is one thing, but your ability to actually speak this difference consistently and correctly is another. So the next thing you need to do is diagnose yourself. I'm going to read to you a list of 16 common words ending in a voiced consonant. After each word, there will be a small pause, and during that pause, it will be your job to record yourself saying the word. When you say the word, don't try too hard to pronounce it correctly. Instead, just say it the way you normally would. And then after you've recorded all of the words, listen to yourself carefully and decide if your pronunciation of the final voiced sound in each word was correct or not. By the way, the words will increase in difficulty, so the easy words will be at the beginning and the hard ones will be at the end. Let's start. Number 1, rub. 2, bed. 3, friend. 4, leave. 5, egg. 6, quiz. 7, edge. 8, carbs. 9, clouds. 10, words. 11, gloves. 12, pigs. 13, grabbed. 14, improved. 15, begged. 16th and last, changed. Okay, if you recorded yourself and listened, there are several different results that you could get. You might clearly hear a problem, or you might clearly hear that you properly voiced the sounds at the ends of the target words. If you heard that your pronunciation was sometimes correct and sometimes not, that might be a sign that you need to work more on listening. I say this because in my experience, students generally either have this problem or they don't, and it's rare for me to hear people mixing correct with incorrect. If you're unsure if your own pronunciation is correct after listening to a recording of it, then you probably have a problem with distinguishing between similar sounds like v and f or z and s. Okay, so now let's get to work solving problems with b, d, v, g, z, and j at the end of words. We will use a mix of techniques to do this, including back chaining, front chaining, and anatomical focus, all of which I talked about in detail in episode 47, which was called 5 Techniques, 1 Word. The main technique we will use today is anatomical focus, which is deeper, slower, and more likely to bring the result that you want than other methods. When we do anatomical focus, we pay close and special attention to and try to correct what we are doing with the organs of speech, like the lungs, throat, vocal cords, tongue, lips, and teeth, and so on. Fortunately, the anatomical focus needed to improve the pronunciation of sounds like b, d, v, g, z, and j at the ends of words is relatively simple. That's because all of these sounds, all of them include vibration from your vocal cords. What you need to do is to continue making the voiced sound through to the end of each word. So let's try to do that with a test word. That word will be days, like there are 7 days in a week. The target word days is probably the easiest word we could possibly choose because every sound in this word is voiced, so you don't need to start using your vocal cords and then stop or vice versa. It's also a really common word, and it sometimes happens that we master the pronunciation of common words without even trying, even when they have some difficult aspect to their pronunciation. Okay, so let's do days. We will work on this word in 5 steps. So, let's do the first step. We need to remember that every sound in this word is voiced. All of them use vibrations in your throat. Practice first just listening to the voiced sound. Don't say anything. Here, I'm about to make it now. Now, I will count to 0, and you should do it with me. 3, 2, 1, 0. Now, make the voiced sound again and pay attention to the feelings that you have inside your throat and the sound that it makes in your ears. So make the voiced sound one more time yourself. 3, 2, 1, 0, go. Okay, let's move to step 2. This time, don't say anything. Just imagine in your head that you are making the voiced sound. Imagine the feeling in your throat and the sound in your ears. I'll count to 3, and then you imagine the voiced sound in your mind. Sorry, I'll count down from 3. So, 3, 2, 1, 0, go. Okay, let's move to the third step. I want you to please say zzz. Say it again, this time feeling the vibration in your throat and hearing it with your ears. 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, let's move to step 4, where we will add a sound. This step is the most critical one. You need to say A's. This is where a lot of people make a mistake and say ace instead. So the key is to pay close attention to your vocal cords in your throat and make them continue vibrating all the way through the end of the word with the sound z. Try it yourself. A's. 3, 2, 1, 0. Try it again. Say again, A's. 3, 2, 1, 0. So, now is the 5th and final step. You need to add the sound from the beginning of the word. That sound is duh. So let's put the whole word together. You already did A's. Now we're going to add a duh to the beginning, and from that you get days. You try it and make sure that your vocal cords continue vibrating from the start of the word to the end of it. Try it yourself now. 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, you can also try to record yourself saying the whole word and then listening to check if you said it correctly. Okay, let's try a more difficult word. This word is suppose. Suppose is harder because it's longer and because some parts of it have voicing and some don't. For now, the only thing you need to do is listen to me slowly say suppose. I'll say it now. Suppose. Okay, this time you say suppose slowly and pay attention to the vibrations in your throat. In which parts of the word you have vibrations from your throat and in which parts you don't. So, slowly say suppose in 3, 2, 1, 0. You probably felt how the vibrations alternated. First you had s without vibrations, then with, then p without, then o and z together with voicing at the end of the word. Now, this time, try to say the word yourself. Say it slowly and make sure that at the end you continue the voicing from the O sound through to the very end of the final Z sound. 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, try it one more time. Say suppose. Say it a bit faster this time. 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, now try a short sentence. The sentence is, yes, I suppose. Say it slowly, making sure that you pronounce the end as O's with vibrations. 3, 2, 1, 0. Yes, I suppose. Okay, the words that we've done up to now are relatively easy because at the end of both days and suppose, we have a vowel and then the voiced z sound. Let's try something harder. Let's try a word that ends in 2 consonants. Our target word is improved. This word is a bit longer, so I want you to break it into syllables or pieces. If you don't know what a syllable is, then think of my full name, which is Timothy. So my name has 3 syllables. Tim-a-thee. The short form of my name is Tim, and it has only 1 syllable. So Timothy, 3 syllables. Tim, 1 syllable. So, how many syllables does the word improved have? I'll say it again. Listen closely and count the syllables. Improved. So if you said 2 syllables, you were right. The first syllable is im, and the second, which is actually pretty long, is proved. Now say just part of the word yourself. The part of the word that I want you to say is oov. Again, make sure that you're using the full voicing at the end of the word with the v sound. Your voicing needs to continue through the end of that sound. Say oov, oov, slowly yourself, paying attention to the vibrations in your throat and how it sounds in 3, 2, 1, 0. Now comes a harder part. You need to say ooved. Again, not oofed, but ooved. There is one aspect of this that will make this easier to say. It is that oo and v and d are all voiced, so there is no alternating between voiced and voiced. It's just voiced from start to finish. Okay, now listen to me slowly say it. Just listen to it. Ooved. Actually, as I pronounced this myself just a second ago, I noticed the voicing on the final d is not very strong. It's not a really hard duh, but there is some voicing there. Now, let ooved repeat in your mind. Remember how it sounds. I'm going to say it one more time. Ooved. Remember how it sounds inside your head in 3, 2, 1, 0. Now try to say it yourself very slowly. Give yourself a lot of time to say each sound like me. Ooved. 3, 2, 1, 0, say it. Now add a sound. Make it rooved. Say rooved slowly yourself in 3, 2, 1, 0. Now add proved. Say proved yourself in 3, 2, 1, 0. Now listen to the whole word. Improved. Say it yourself really slowly in 3, 2, 1, 0. Now try a sentence. Her English has really improved. Let me say it slowly. Listen to it, and afterwards let it repeat in your mind. Just listen, and after I'm done speaking, just listen during the pause, or listen to yourself repeating it inside of your mind during the pause. Here I go. I'm going to say it now. Her English has really improved. Now I'm going to say it again a little bit more naturally, a little bit faster. And after I'm done, again, listen to it repeat inside of your mind. Her English has really improved. Okay, now it's your turn to say the sentence. It will be easier if you say the last word of the sentence, our target word, improved, more slowly. So 3, 2, 1, 0, say it. Okay, now let's do just one more word. That word is changed. This one is quite tough because it has a lot of voiced consonants, one after the other at the end of the word. You have n, then d, then j, and then d again. Let me say it slowly. Changed. Now try to say a piece of it yourself. Nd. So you need to say nd. 3, 2, 1, 0. Now listen to another piece. Nj. Let me say it again slowly, and you let it repeat in your mind. Nj. Now say it slowly. Nj. 3, 2, 1, 0, say it. Now add another piece. Njd. I'll say it slowly. Njd. Let it repeat in your mind. Now finally listen to the whole word. Changed. Changed. Try to say it yourself slowly in 3, 2, 1, 0. Finally, try a sentence. The target sentence is the price changed. So again, the price changed. Try to say it yourself in 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, that is all the words and sentences we have time for in this episode, but again remember that if you want to work on a larger number of words with example sentences, follow the link in the description of this episode to 64 target words with voiced final consonants plus example sentences for each one, so enjoy that bonus file. Thanks everyone for listening, and see you all next week.